Hey guys, welcome to Keeping Score. On this week's episode, we actually have someone who knows what he's talking about for a change. So we're going to give you 10 differential picks for game weeks 10, 11 and 12 for your fantasy team. Let's start off with goalkeepers. In goal, our first option on offer is Roberto. With an ownership of just 0.7% of managers, the West Ham United goalkeeper who's deputizing for Fabianski, who's out till January 1st, could be a very decent shout. West Ham have actually been quite decent this season and they should keep a few clean sheets from now until game week 19. The second option we have for our goalkeeper pick is Kasper Schmeichel from Leicester. Now Leicester actually have very good underlying defensive stats and they've actually been quite unlucky to concede in as many games as they've conceded in. Kasper Schmeichel and Leicester also have fantastic fixtures all the way up till game week 17. So he can be a long-term pick, not just for the next 3 game weeks. But we think Leicester will keep some clean sheets from now until game week 12. Let's move on to defense. So for our 3 defensive picks, the first one is again a West Ham pick, Ryan Fredericks. Now, no player in FPL has had more touches in the opposition box than Ryan Fredericks. And Ryan Fredericks has created 9 chances this season, which is among the top 10 for defenders. So for a budget option, Ryan Fredericks and West Ham could be a fantastic pickup. The second choice for defensive options that we have is Leicester City's Soyuncu. So Soyuncu, as you might have guessed, is one of the cheapest defenders in the game who's regularly starting. He's at 4.7 and he still has a relatively low ownership in just about 6.2% of managers bringing him in. And the next 3 fixtures from Leicester, along with the fixtures till game week 17, just like Schmeichel, look really solid. So we would suggest you can bring in Soyuncu as a potential key differential to hold up until game week 17. Next up, our final differential option is going to be Wolves defender Willy Bolly. We think Willy Bolly has actually been overperforming this season and nothing proves that more than the 7 bonus points he's accumulated already this season. He has 5 bonus points in Wolves' 3 clean sheets so far. So if Wolves keep a clean sheet over the next 3 game weeks, which they can with the decent fixtures that they have, expect Willy Bolly to get in and amongst the bonus yet again. Let's move on to midfield. And midfield, we have 3 more options for you, and no surprise, we start off with a West Ham midfielder. Andrei Yarmolenko, the 6.0 million priced midfielder / forward, has scored or assisted in each of has 2 goals and 3 assists in each of his last 5 starts. And he has been in fine form over the international break, scoring in the win against Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal, and Andrei Yarmolenko looks set to continue his form throughout the rest of the season should he remain injury free. The other option we have for you in midfield is Chelsea's Callum Hudson-Odoi, another player priced at 6.0. The Chelsea man has 3 assists in each of his last 3 starts in the Premier League. Even though he's only played a combined minutes of just over a game and a half, he's looking like the most threatening Chelsea player out of the entire team midfield. And if you want to go differential to even Mason Mount, we think Callum Hudson-Odoi could be the one to go for the long term, for the rest of the season. The final option we have in midfield is Anthony Martial. Now, Anthony Martial is slightly higher than the other 2 in price. It is £7.5 million, but Anthony Martial has had 3 attacking returns, 2 goals and assists in the 3 starts he's had this season. And if you count the 6 minutes he's played against Liverpool as a substitute, in only 4 appearances, he's keeping up the form he had last season, where he was getting either a goal or an assist in every 3 out of 4 games. Now let's move on to the forwards. The first forward we have for you, and this is no surprise again, is Sebastian Haller from West Ham United, because West Ham have some fantastic fixtures, 2 of which are at home out of the next 3. Now it was actually a toss-up between Sebastian Haller and Raul Jimenez, who could have had for the same price point, because they're both around the 7.2 to 7.6 million mark. But we think Haller has the edge over Jimenez because Wolves have Europa League commitments, and they do tend to suffer from a hangover when they play on Saturdays and Thursdays, or Sundays and Thursdays. So Haller, with his aerial threat, because he's won the most aerial duels out of any player in the Premier League by a good margin, gets the vote. And the final differential pick we have for you is Brighton and Hove Albion's Aaron Connolly. Now hear me out, a 4.5 million forward might not be what you're looking for, but Aaron Connolly is a fantastic forward enabler for you, especially if you're playing 2 up front. You can have him on the bench instead of Greenwood, and he is guaranteed to start for Brighton. The 2 goals against Tottenham Hotspur were well taken, and he looks like the rest of the season he could be preferred by their manager Graham Potter over the aging Glenn Murray. Now that we have the differential picks, let's move on to the captain picks for game week 10 in particular. The first captain pick we have for you is Kevin De Bruyne, and the advice is just put it on Kevin De Bruyne. You should have Kevin De Bruyne in your team by now. Kevin De Bruyne is the best fantasy player this season. So Kevin De Bruyne has started 3 of Man City's 4 games at the Etihad this season so far, and in those games he's averaged 14 points per game. There is no reason not to put the armband on Kevin De Bruyne. Now, if you own Sterling or Aguero, you can go for those as options, but we would still recommend that you go with De Bruyne because he's much more likely to start than either Sterling or Aguero. The second captaincy option we have for you is Leicester City's Jamie Vardy. Now, Jamie Vardy is what they call a stats buster because he doesn't really need many opportunities or shots at goal to score a goal. His conversion rate is one of the highest in the league, and with the fantastic fixtures like we talked about that Leicester have till game week 17, Jamie Vardy should be getting at least 3 to 4 goals in that time period. So we highly suggest you get on him before he is no longer a differential pick. And the final captaincy option that you could put the armband on for this week is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at Arsenal. Now, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has been one of the most consistent performers in the league this season. He's had an attacking return in 7 out of the 9 games he started. Yes, Lacazette coming in might make Emery move him out to the left wing, but he still has a more potent threat than the French forward. And those are our 3 captaincy picks in order and our differential picks for the next 3 game weeks. And we hope you enjoyed this video.